Vielen Dank für die Einladung für diese Konferenz und auch in die schöne Stadt Berlin. Und ich weiß, dass Deutschland sehr aktiv gewesen in Entwicklung der Beratung und diese Konferenz ist ein Beispiel für das. Aber vielleicht ist es besser, dass im Englisch gehen. Mein Deutsch kommt in Schule, wenn ich war, ungefähr 35 Jahre sehen. So in Central Finland es gibt nicht so viele Möglichkeiten, Deutsch zu sprechen, so ich spreche im Englisch. Aber viele Grüße aus Central Finland. Danke. So I will continue now in English, and in fact I do have a double role here. I come from the University of Jyväskylä, which is central Finland. It's at the moment we do have summer. We had a severe winter as well, 90 days below zero on the row, no plus degrees. But at the moment we have about 22 hours daylight at the moment, so it's different and a very nice city. And the Jyväskylä University is one of the oldest, one of the largest universities in Finland, and it's focuses on human technology and also in education, and has the oldest teacher training, Finnish-speaking teacher training college in Finland, and we have about 15,000 students. But this is also provides you some context what I'm speaking. So we have in Finland we have 5 million people, so it's something like Berlin at the same time. So what I'm speaking come from the very homogeneous society compared to Germany. But if I continue, as I mentioned, or the previous speaker mentioned, I will talk briefly about lifelong guidance in European context, and then how Finland has reacted or developed the current system. And that provides sort of a case study of what is happening currently in Finland. But first, I would like to quote Frau Zaune. This was very interesting to hear that lifelong guidance is a key to success. I should often come to this type of conferences where policymakers state that. And also the second very important thing what she mentioned, that we need to market what is guidance, what is the added value of guidance, and that's very important. And the second item I picked up that we have to know what different individual institutions are doing in order to meet this common goal, and I think I start with this. And during the last 10 years, guidance has become very high on educational and labor market policy agendas in many countries in Europe, but also globally. And there are some factors behind that I would like to highlight first. I have a background of a counselor. I was working in schools in the 80s, and my teacher training was in the 70s. And at that time, when I was entering the counselor training, guidance was emphasized very strongly as a private good. It was for individuals and focusing on individual process, and it was mainly for those students who had some difficulties in their education. So in a way, it was very important component in education, but it had some kind of remedial image. And that is the reason guidance was always 2 steps behind of other activities. So it was sort of repairing some of the problems which emerged partly from the individuals, but partly also from the rigid educational system. But it's important, at the moment, it's emphasizing the personal growth and lifelong learning, and also empowering one's future or one's skills. And this is strongly emphasized in the educational context. But the advent of guidance was due to the changes in the economy in Europe, but also on the aging population. The governments got interested how to promote the competitiveness in Europe, and what can we achieve with the money that we invest on guidance. And then also the need for skilled labor forces was one factor behind that guidance discourse was focusing on the topic how guidance contributes to common good as well, so about the labor force development. And then the words that came into the discourse was how to match skills, how to have the balance between the supply and the demand of labor force, how to promote competitiveness, and how to promote emerging competence areas. And this was during the high economy. But during the last 2 or 3 years, because of the economic crisis, a third component came to the discussion. It's the active citizenship and how to maintain your confidence during the economic crisis. How to use this time when there are not jobs available, but how to improve your employability skills and how to adapt to this new system. So the individual skill to be flexible in identifying learning goals or developing one's competencies, but also how to use your time in education that needs some flexibility of the individuals. And the security comes of the skills to be of being flexible and trying to promote one's employability skills or marketability. And that's why also from the government perspective, we have to think how we use these government funding which come from education, labor, employment strategies, but also from the social policies in a cost-effective way to provide opportunities for the citizens to sort of meet the current challenges. But guidance seems to be a bridge or an interface that combines these different policy areas, and that is the reason why this guidance has become a very important component in national policies. But there's also one challenge into this topic. We have faced that when we're looking for synergy in this situation where we need this type of a cooperation, instead of looking for synergy, different organizations are thinking, how do we maintain our organization in the competition, in the situation? How do I keep my chair? So this leads to a supplier-driven approach instead of a synergy. And that's why the statement about the importance of this mapping what individual organizations are doing is very important. But then we come to a problem on the language. I come from education, but if I discuss with a psychology or a HRD person in a company, we have different languages, and we might say who is right. Somebody is coaching, somebody is mentoring, somebody is counseling, somebody is tutoring, somebody is supervising. We are talking about who is doing what, and we are arguing who is right. Instead of that, we need to have a common definition. And the European Commission expert group was working in 2004 in order to create a definition that is like a common conceptual framework on the activities that are aiming towards a common goal. And we started that guidance can be described as some activities like information, advice, counseling, assessment, teachings, advocacy, mentoring, supervising. It should be targeted to all citizens, not only for those who have problems. When at any age and point in the individual lives, it means education, in transition phases to further education or employment, or if you are employed, if you come back to continuing vocational training to improve your skills, or in higher education, or in private settings or employment as well. And what is the focus? Making meaningful life choices on learning and work, empowerment to manage your own career. And what is a career? A career in some languages have a little negative sort of image, but if we think of a career as an individual life path in learning and work, and in other settings where these previously mentioned capacities and competencies are learned and or used, we are in a safer ground. We think that this is a competence that can be learned as such. And we have been discussing that if we think of the competence development which are strongly emphasized in current European Union strategies, we have divided in general discussions that we have professional competencies, or social competencies or personal competencies, and they can be described separately.